What up guys, Casual K Kyle here, and today I got for you the Kennedy. Alright, so the Kennedy is something crazy. It's something different, and I'm liking it a lot. It's pretty cool. It's got bottom fed airflow, as you can see right there. Bottom fed airflow. It's pretty cool. And yeah, you may think that it leaks, but it doesn't. I'll show you how it does all of that, or how it doesn't do all of that. Whatever you wanna say with that. Up close. We'll go up close with this guy. So let's do that. Let's go up close. Alright, so here is the Kennedy all up close, and she's a beaut. She is a really nicely machined stainless steel atty USA. Got your serial number right there. There's where your airflow comes from. We'll get into that, but we want to get into the cap and the deck first. Let me take these guys apart, which is a little bit difficult. If you know drippers, they're difficult to take apart without having something on them. Usually easier with a mod. There we go. So the O-rings aren't that bad since I was able to take it off without a mod, just so you know. And it doesn't come with this drip tip. I just thought it looked cool. And yeah, so it's one solid cap on the top. And yeah, it's conical design, and just the machining is nice. It's nicely done. Those little burrs in there, it's just like residue cotton crap that's in mine, so it's all smooth. Trust me, it's smooth, and your drip tip all fits nice. I haven't had a problem with the drip tip at all. All the drip tips fit nice. And for the deck, we have a copper center post, which is a cool thing to have. Copper center post, and you just line up your coils with the airflow right there. You can see, along with this deep deck, you have these little cylinders coming out, and that's for your airflow, and that stops it from leaking. So you just center your coil above that airflow like I've done here, and I just did a 5 rapid 24 gauge, so it hits really hot because this thing has 3 millimeter airflow slots, so it's a lot of air. This is a very airy device, I just want to say that right now. And yeah, the deck is really nice and deep. Let's do the little screwdriver method, why not? I never think that works, but so yeah. I'm so bad at getting shit on camera. So yeah, deep juice well. It goes in relatively deep. It's one of the deepest ones I've had in a long time. This one and the Vulcan are pretty deep on the juice wells, and that's what I like to see in a lot of addies now, is having deep juice wells. And this airflow from the bottom just creates such good flavor. Even though it's so wide open, it just does great flavor. So we are going to re-wick this guy, and yeah, it's gonna be great. Oh yeah. So let me just pop this guy on my ohms reader. We'll get a solid, actually wait, there's one more thing I want to say. The bottom pin is copper, and it's non-adjustable, but it does stick out quite a bit more than the 510 connection threads do. So you can put this on your hybrided devices like your Praxis and like your 4.9s and stuff like that. And those are the ones I could think of right now. So yeah, you can hybrid this and it'll work perfect, just like the Tugboat V2s. So we'll pop this guy on there. Let's see what it reads out. 0.22, just like it did before. Ranges between 0.22 and 0.24. It's hot. It's a hot vape, at least for me. And it's good. So let's put some Japanese cotton on this guy. Let's get some Japanese cotton. I'm just going to take a couple strips, and I'll show you, because there's a little bit different ways you could wick this. This is the best way that I've found. It's nothing tricky. It's just tips and tricks for getting this stuff wicked up. So we'll do the regular cotton roll that we usually do, and yeah, we'll get this thing going. So slide our cotton through. It's a little thick. There we go. Alright, cotton's through like that. Not too tight, just a little bit tight because it's going to be a hot vape. I like my cotton to be a little bit tighter when I have hotter vapes than when I have colder vapes. That's just a little preference of mine. So we'll stick this guy through. And we got that guy going right there. Boom. And that is way too much wick. What we got right there is way too much wick. So I'm going to take some handy dandy scissors, and on the side that is going to have less juice well to go to, you only need a little bit. So we're just going to cut that guy right about here. And these scissors suck. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Just a little guy on this side is what I like. Just enough to tuck in there and not like cover the hole. And then for the other side, I'll just go a little bit longer than those. It's kind of on camera, just not centered. I'm doing great. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting this because I have to look down here to make sure I'm doing it right, and then I have to look back at the camera to make sure it's it's centered. So we'll take our little screwdriver, and the smaller side we'll just tuck down, and that's all you need to do for that side. And we'll do it for the other side, just tuck it down, and those are in there good. And then for the other side, I like to do a little under swoop and just put a little cotton like that, and I'll clear out the airflow after, because you want to make sure you don't have cotton blocking the way on your airflow. So all I do for that is I just take the screwdriver and I kind of just move it around. I'll just shove this over and shove this over so it's got a clear passage for the air to pass through. Otherwise you're just going to have juice going all the way down your mod, which this thing won't do if you wick it right. So that's how you wick it right. It's nothing complicated, just less cotton than you usually use for a deep juice well deck. Now let's put some juice on it. And actually, I'm going to put this on my mod first. Using my Sigelli because it's my favorite. Pretty much everything I get, I'll throw it on my Sigelli first, and we'll get the Sigelli going on it first before I get anything else going on it. So I got a little bit of a gap on my Sigelli. I'm going to actually thread my Sigelli down. I'm pretty sure since this pin is so long in here, I can actually thread this Sigelli all the way down and it touches, which is amazing. I love that about this. Because, as you know, the Sigelli can be wonky once you have the pin going up. Okay, and it made a connection. Yep, it's not saying to check. Alright, I just don't want to fire it too long because I don't want to burn out my cotton. So, we got this guy right here. I already got my cap off. I got my giant bottle of juice. And what I like to do is dab more on the sides. Don't get it over the coil. Otherwise, it'll drip right down to the bottom. You just gotta be careful with it. So this thing's pretty nice. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit more to get used to because you have to worry about that bottom hole, but it's really not that big of an issue. And then when I go to drip, like none of that was on camera. That was great. When I go to drip, I drip right here and right here. I drip on the fat side on this side and the fat side on that side. I'll put probably like 4 drops of each. So, and then on top, doesn't matter where you put this. If you like the Kennedy logo to be in a certain spot, like I want it to be facing my buttons, then you can do that. And now it's all set. And it's firing, and you're gonna have a great vape. It's working great. So let's send this up to the regular screen, talk about it a little more, and blow some clouds. Alright, so you saw the Kennedy all up close. You saw the cool features with it. Pretty much the cool feature with it is that it comes from the bottom, and it has these cool cylinders coming up so it doesn't leak as often. The only kind of leaking that it does is the coil will spurt out juice into all directions as a coil should, and a little bit of that spit up will go down to the bottom, so you will have like a little bit of like vaporized and then re-put into like a little bit of like steam residue is kind of what it looks like on the bottom. That's all I really have seen with this guy, and it vapes great with that. And there's no top cap, so you can't like chuff, you can't put a chuff enough on it and go like all out cloud chasing, but you really don't need to. Just put a wide bore drip tip on here like I do, and it's pretty wide open. Very, very wide open. I need to drip already. I didn't put enough when I saturated. I can taste that. So like I said, I'm going to put a little bit on the cotton cloud I like to put like 3 drops there, and then I'll put 1 on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 on the other side, and we're already good. So I put 3 out of 4 on mine on the bigger side of the cotton, and then on the small side I'll put another drop there, so it's even. And that's pretty much all I do. I'm still trying to line it up like I need to, and you don't need to. This thing's great for, like, I don't know, drunk dripping, where you're just like, oh cool, dripped it, put the cap wherever the hell I want to, and I'll just vape it. And you don't even like need a long hit with the build I have like in here. It's nice. It's just a solid RDA. I've been, in fact, compared to other drippers, I've been using this one more than the other ones. And I have a lot of drippers. This thing produces great flavor while also being like wide open, so you can take those really like short but like gnarly lung hits. And it's all stainless steel and shit. It's got a long post, so you can, or a long pin on the bottom, so you can hybrid it. It's got a bunch of cool things on it. The only thing I would love to see is if they just carved out a little ring just for the hell of it to put chestnuts on top, but they didn't. Also, one thing I want to add, this also can have a brass cap or a copper cap. The deck won't be brass or copper, but for I think $30 or something like that, you can get copper or brass caps on it too to make it look copper or brass to match your mod. So you could have like a stainless drip tip with like a brass cap, and then it has like the stainless on the bottom, and then you could have like a brass mod, or you could do the all same thing I just said, but with copper. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of cool. I like that when they have like different things you could do with it, make it look different, but it's still the same device. It's nothing like China cloned. And yeah, it's solid. It works great. And man, I just like how it's open, but you still get all that flavor. Oh man, that's all I got for you guys. That's the Kennedy. This thing rocks, man. This thing rocks. This is the most solid RDA I have right now. So that's all I got. Whoa. One thing I want to say. There's one con about this thing. I almost forgot. I almost ended the video that way. One con I gotta say about this guy is if you have anything with a Fat Daddy Vapes connection on it, it's not going to thread onto it. For some reason, this Kennedy does not thread onto any Fat Daddy Vapes connections. That's for any of you guys who have like custom box mods where you put that connection on it. I'm sorry, this thing's just not going to fit on it. That's the only con for it, and that's kind of a big con because I couldn't screw it on my box mod that I have that has Fat Daddy Vapes, and pissed me off. It goes about halfway and then it won't do the rest. So that's about it. If you have it on any other mod, I haven't had trouble with any other mod, just the Fat Daddy Vapes connection. If there's anything similar to that, you might have the same problem. But yeah, that's the only thing with the Kennedy that isn't cool. Other than that, Kennedy's a solid device, and you get all the airflow you need with all the flavor you need. So that's all I got for sure this time. Let's keep on vaping on. Me and the Kennedy are out.